Okay, so you can see here, I am, you want to do everything without attachments. Um, Attachments should be a luxury and not a necessity, and I'll show you in a second. You should be able to do everything without attachments. Everything. You can see I have all the scopes and stuff in my inventory. That's pretty much what you want to do. So I'm going to show you my sprays here. See? Pretty much perfect sprays. I messed up there a little bit, but pretty much perfect sprays without attachments. That's what your spray should look like without attachments. A lot of times people, they rely on having a compensator. They rely on having a vert grip or whatever, but you should not be relying on that stuff. You should be able to do everything you see here without attachments. Now the next part, you can see I'm doing the same thing the guy was doing. And this is pretty much general sense is left and right. And you want it to pretty much look just like that. Up and down is going to be your vertical sense. And you want it just to feel natural. If you go a little bit to, like, not all the way, then you need to higher your vertical sense. If you go too much, you want to lower your vertical sense. If you go to the side too much, of course, you want to lower your general sense. If you go a little too little, you want to upper your general sense. So yeah, it should just feel natural, just like that. You see, I'm doing the box pretty much naturally. Here also, you want to do the red dot the same way. If you're going like too much, just like before, you want to lower it. If you're going too little, you want to upper it, and you want it to pretty much look just like how I'm doing. And you could just think of it like, see, too much, it needs to be lower. Too little, it needs to be upward. Now I'm about to show you the place where I do scopes. So you just go to the right here. You go see you just go upstairs. And this is where I do my scopes. You can see here, from here it's about 100 meters. That's usually the place where you do most of your important scope battles. And you can see I'm doing it with the 2X here. And you pretty much want to do this with every single scope. Left, right, up, down. Make sure you're doing it always. It needs to feel natural always. Up, down, left, right, it's your thing. See, if you go too much, then you lower. If you go too little, you upper. Now you're gonna just see me do it with the 3X's next. Also, I forgot, you can shoot like this also if you want like target practice. It's a good place to do target practice with your tapping to make sure you're super accurate. So yeah, you can see here I'm doing the 3X's now. And you pretty much want to do this with every single scope. I'm doing it with 4X. And you see it's pretty much perfect. Pretty much perfect. Not exactly, but pretty much. You want to do the scoped out 6X. And then in a few seconds, you're going to see me do the scoped in 6X. Also, you can even do the 8X, zoomed out and zoomed in. For this right here, like I said, if you're going too much, you just want to lower that sense. So you can see I can do it even with the red dot. That's how good my sense is for myself. And you just have to find that sense for you. And you can see I could even do it with hip fire this far away. It's almost 100 meters, and I'm pretty much doing it perfectly. And that's what you need to be able to do. Now, recoil practice, like I told you before. Oh yeah, once again, Make sure you can do everything without attachments. Attachments is a luxury, not a necessity. You can see I'm about 25 meters away. You don't need to be any further than that, to be honest, to practice recoil control. But you can see when I was doing it really fast, I was pretty much snapping right on them because I made sure my general sense and all my senses are perfect. See my red dot? Perfect. I can do it fast and it's pretty much on them every single time. That's how you need to be able to do it. It pretty much looks like aimbot sometimes. See, I'm doing it 25 meters away with my red dots. See, no attachments. You don't need attachments. You should not rely on attachments ever. And you can see I'm doing red dot. I'm doing a little bit faster. You can do leans while you do it and all type of movements to make it harder if you need to. Now you can see I'm going to do 2x. You can see my recoil is pretty much perfect. And that's because I practice so much without attachments. Like when you guys are in game saying, oh, I need this attachment, that attachment. Not really. If you have the right sense, you don't need any attachments on your guns. Attachments, like I said, luxury, not a necessity. And you can see I did it fast again. My hip fire, pretty much perfect on them. Sprays are perfect. Now, let's say if it's too hard at first, I really recommend if you did what I did earlier in the first part to find your perfect sense. If you're struggling to spray, do not change your sense at all. The dots are more important. Being able to do the dots is way more important. Now, you can see here, I was saying, you do not need to be spraying like this at all. Like, fully zoomed out, do not spray like that. Just spray with it zoomed in. I was just showing that I can do it zoomed out, but you don't really need to practice it zoomed out at all. I recommend you don't practice it at all. Just practice it zoomed in. Now you can see I'm going further back. If you feel like it's too easy for 25 meters, then you can go 50 meters and do the sprays like that. And I'm pretty much, you can see I'm always standing up while I'm doing these sprays. Always standing up. And you can see I'm doing AK, no attachments. You do not need attachments. You need to be able to do this without attachments. You can see I'm pretty much perfect recoil control, even without attachments, because I've did so much scope spraying with my perfect sense that it feels natural, and that's pretty much what you need to do.